This production is sponsored by The Good Estate Agent. With an average turnaround time of 3 weeks, if you want your house sold quickly, then contact Stefan today on 01942 356 577. Quote Super League Raw for 33% off. So, good afternoon. We're just 2 hours away to the start of round number 25 of the Betfred Super League. Good afternoon, Steph. How are you?
Good afternoon, mate. All good, you?
Absolutely marvellous, my friend. Absolutely marvellous. Getting ready for a bit of chit-chat and full analysis in the lead-up to this weekend's action. Rumour mills are plenty. And is senior to Leigh in a swap deal with Darnell?
That's been reported today. Whether it is, we'll see, but it would make sense. But it's funny because we were only saying a few weeks ago, weren't we? We'd like to see Ennis in a top six side, and I think it'd be a great move for him and for Leigh if that one came off.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Of course, between now and maybe weekly, that might sort itself out and we'll know for sure. But yeah, interesting. There's more things as well to discuss, but we'll do that as we go through the show. Good afternoon to Keith Lambert, Rebecca Frey, Heather Bailey in the chat already. Please do comment along with the show. We might give you the odd shout out, but we are, of course, going to get through all 6 games this evening, as, of course, only a couple of hours away to getting cracking. Right, let's get into what we're going to be discussing. And these, of course, are the games. Starting tonight, the Giants hosting the Leeds Rhinos, of course. Big game, that one. And then we've got the Salford Red Devils there up against the Catalan Dragons tonight. Big game tomorrow. Massive game tomorrow. Wigan. That's the wrong way round. Saints against Wigan, of course. Castleford Tigers taking on the Wakefield Trinity. Then on Saturday, it's Wire against Leigh at the HJ. Followed finally on Sunday at 3 o'clock, 3:05. The kickoff put back by 5 minutes. Not sure why that is. For Hull.
It's because the government are testing the national emergency thing.
There you go. Well, yeah, quite out for some Super League teams at the moment, isn't it? There's been emergencies all around Super League for some. But anyway, we won't go there, will we? Good evening to Carrie, Steph Mackey, McKay. I always get it right. Is it McKay? Mackey? I should know that. I should know that. I'm almost embarrassed, but I won't be. She'll forgive me. Right, let's get into the league table. Here we go. There it is. KR, of course, 4 points clear. If Wigan were to lose against Saints on Friday night, pretty much then done and dusted, of course. It would be if they won against FC. The shield would be theirs. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Of course, Wakefield Trinity got a big opportunity as well, if KR win, to really go and cement really that 6th spot. Of course, already a point clear. There'd be 3 points clear going into the last 2 games, one of them against Salford, but we're not discounting Salford all of a sudden. But, you know, like I say, Wakey, it's theirs to lose. Makey. Steph Makey.
That's it.
Makey. Need to remember that. Remember the Deb Hasty. Didn't go down well either. Need to be better. Must do better. Anyway, let's carry on. So there you go. There's the league table. Let's get into the debate and the chat and the analysis. Starting with this, of course, Salford take on the Catalan Dragons this evening. You were asking about Nicarima.
Yeah.
And, of course, he's not in the squad, is he? So Nicarima, obviously, a bit of a bang. He did well to last the game, actually, at Warrington, Nicarima. Looked like he was in a lot of discomfort. So he did well there. But, Jack Croft as well. He was announced in the squad. He's gone back to Wakefield Trinity. The Ghana out for the season for them. So he's been recalled. That's all I've heard, really. Jack's gone. Jack Walker, though, there. He had a great game last week. Declan Murphy as well, back in the 21-man squad. Be interested to see if he gets a game. And Easton Masters there as well. So what do you make of Salford off the back of last week? Should be same again, really.
Well, I think this could be the most interesting game out of the 2 tonight. I think this could be the closest. So I'm a bit undecided which one to watch here out of these 2. But Catalans team, on paper looks great, but it's looked great all season and not delivered, hasn't it? So, but yeah, Salford will be well up for this one, and I think there's going to be a really decent crowd at Salford as well this evening. I know they're doing another march, and the club actually they put on the offer of the bring two friends for £1 a piece as well, which is crazy, really, isn't it? When they're going to be protesting against the owners, but yeah, no, it should be a really good crowd and hopefully a really good game. This one, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we'll wait and see. Like I say, it's got more interesting off the back of the Warrington game last week because I don't think we'd have been saying that it was that interesting if it wasn't for that. That win last week has really, opened this up a little bit because Catalan have been in woeful form. We know that, and this might just give Salford a lift. And those lads did not let anybody down last week. They're the ones that came in. They had a really good, solid knock at it. So yeah, home game. Could easily go back to back. It's always been close, as you can see there, 18-22 in Super League history. Just the one draw between these two sides, and you can see that's in the last 5 games, Catalan have had the best of it. But yeah, all of a sudden, a little bit closer than we might have expected, Steph. And 3 players that I just wanted to highlight. I thought these 3 were the heroes last week, without doubt, and I think it's right that we say that. Magnificent efforts from Jack Walker, Ron Milnes, and Justin Sangare. Good stats. These were from the Warrington game. Good stats, all 3 of them. And if these can replicate that, Catalan have got it all on.
Yeah, definitely. And like I was saying about the crowd as well, it's I think this is the first game at home, isn't it, since they planned to do the protest and then they called the game off.
Correct.
So that it's going to be a vociferous crowd, and I think we all just make a plea to those Salford fans: keep doing what you've been doing in terms of how well you've been doing your protests, and just keep it like that tonight, and do it. Obviously as vociferously as you want to, but you've been a credit to your club, and hope everyone stays to that. So I just thought wanted to put that across. But no, these 3 were great against Warrington. Really, really good. And considering they've been thrown into a team, without really practicing or whatever, for Jack Walker and Sangare, it was a phenomenal effort. So if they can replicate that tonight, and the efforts there, the same as it was against Leigh, to be fair, their effort was phenomenal. I think they out enthused Leigh, especially in the first half when they played at the Sports Village. So that's one thing I think we're going to get. And they'll be, they've not had support like they're going to get tonight all season, in terms of the volume of people. So it's going to be a real atmosphere at the Salford game, which is going to be great. And I'm hoping the players rise to it. And if they do, then Catalan need to watch out, and they need to really turn up tonight.
Salford was exemplary at Warrington last week. Exemplary.
Yeah.
Really, really good. I mean, Keith Lamb was saying, what about Miller? Yeah, Joe Miller had a good game as well, but I thought these 3, when you consider that these 3, Justin Sangare, arguably one of his best performances of the season, and the fact that Ron Milnes and Jack Walker came into the squad and really performed for him. That's why I highlight them. But you're quite right, Keith. Joe Miller has been a champion for him all season. But back to the fans, they were exemplary at Warrington last week. They were exemplary without Wakefield being at the stadium when the game was called off. Let's hope that that's the case. I'm sure it will be. I think they've actually handled it with a lot of class and distinction. So I echo your thoughts. I think they'll do themselves proud tonight. And like I said last week, be better than the people that are owning your club, and they're doing that, which is absolutely outstanding. So
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating game. And do you know what? I think most, unless you've got no heart whatsoever, I think most people want Salford to win this. I mean, there's always the odd village idiot. We had some at Warrington last week who, for whatever reason, just couldn't see the sporting nature of what Salford had done and just, lose with grace. It was, Salford were heroic in that game. Yeah, it'd be good to see. It'd be good for Paul as well to another win, and especially at home with the home fans there. It'd be a wonderful, wonderful story. We wish everybody well down there this evening, and of course, on the other side of the Pennines tonight is this one: the Giants taking on the Leeds Rhinos. The Rhinos in real good form. Again, these squads were announced prior to weekly. We spoke about this. Leeds in great form. When you look down the list there of Huddersfield, of course, there's real question marks at halfback. We know that. Ollie Russell and Rush. I mean, Rush for me, Ollie was outstanding last week. Got to give him his due. They're going to need a big performance again from Ollie Russell. It just doesn't look strong enough to compete with Leeds tonight, Steph.
No, and not coming into the form that that Leeds are in as well. I mean, they've got a big one missing, haven't they, in Ash Hanley, not included in the squad there for this week's game. So that's a big miss for them. But you look down that list and of the Leeds players, and you think, yeah, they've all been. These last few weeks especially have been phenomenal. Jake Connor in the form of his career, I'd probably say at the moment. And then you look over at the Huddersfield side, and it's through no fault of their own. But if they were going to have any chance, they would have at least needed what's his face, who came from Leeds. My mate, Frawley. They needed Frawley, who I thought has been great for him since he's come in at Huddersfield. So yeah, I think I've got it down as an 18+ win for Leeds. I think it's going to be a real tough night for the Giants, but I hope I'm wrong. And let's not forget, Huddersfield are well capable of putting a performance together. So my hope, just for the Cowbell Army, is that my prediction's as bad as my betting, and they give Leeds a good game tonight.
The thing is though, I mean, FC had something to play for. Huddersfield have not, other than pride, of course. And last week, Connor destroyed him, absolutely destroyed him. 4 assists. What I mean, just to remind people, 4 assists to try. His kicking game on point, absolutely outstanding. Miller had another solid game from Brody Croft, another try, and an assist from him. They're just looking in the groove at this moment in time. We did, of course, the social on last night, and Alex Sharp, one of our members, did tip us the wink that he felt that Ned McCormack will potentially play in centre today. An exciting player, this kid really is. So that from a neutral's perspective, for those who like to see the young talent coming through, if Ned was to play tonight for the Leeds Rhinos, if you are a neutral, that's one to keep an eye on. He and his brother have got a lot of real talent. I'm looking forward to seeing that. It should be very good indeed. And thanks for Alex, of course, for giving us his views on social last night. Of course, the Social Club, now a Super League Royal members, enjoy that every Monday and every Wednesday, getting together for some great chat. The man there at number 5, Ryan Hall. Here's one for you. I've not seen Bet Stef yet. I just uploaded it. I always like to be surprised. He scored tries in the last 3 games against the Huddersfield Giants. Just letting you know, Steph. He scored 1, then he scored 2, then he scored 1. So 4 in total, 3 games.
I don't pick ones that are going to score, Dave. Do you know that?
Well, I know that it's the bet. It is the place to ignore when predicting scores. I get that. But there you go. This is the tale of the tape, and as you'd expect, the Leeds Rhinos over the years have had a lot of joy over the Huddersfield Giants, such as being, their dominance for long periods of the Super League era, of course. Some really, really good performances from Leeds over the year. The last 5, though, 3 of them going the way of Huddersfield Giants, which is really interesting. Is that right? Or have I got that the wrong way around? Let me just. I always doubt it when I do that. 28 points. Yeah, it could be actually 1-2, 1-2. No, it's the other way. It's 3-2. I thought I got that one wrong. So yeah, Huddersfield, of course, Leeds beating Huddersfield in round 8 this year, 28 points to 6. It was round 19 last year. They won 34-6. They also they lost in round 8 at Headingley, 30-24. That was a good win. That for Huddersfield, a great performance. Huddersfield also won at the back end of 23, 21-12, and Leeds in the same season in round 16, 54-0 at Headingley. So it is 3-2 the other way. But I mean, again, outscoring, you look at 309 points scored this year, plays 570, and then you look at the column of points conceded, 272. Points have come at a premium all year for the Huddersfield Giants, and they're coming up against, is it probably the 3rd best defence maybe in the league this season? Just doesn't bode well for him, does it?
It doesn't, and like we've said this a few times as well. As good as Leeds have been in attack and they've been phenomenal, the defence has been even more impressive for me, especially against the better sides as well. So it's going to be very difficult without halfbacks for Huddersfield. Without recognised standout halfbacks for Huddersfield to break Leeds down. I think that'll be a tough job for the top six sides. So I don't see Huddersfield getting quite a lot of points this evening, and this is why I've gone for an 18 plus, because the way Leeds are attacking, I expect them to score at least 3 more tries more than the Giants this evening.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree. Paul Boardman in the chat saying which game should he watch because there's normally only one on a Thursday. Well, what I would say is this: do what I do. Have one on the telly, one on the iPad, mate. Have an eye on both. Hey, multitask, sir. Multitask is what I would say. Joel has gone Leeds 18 plus. He's also got Salford 1-8. A lot of love for Salford this week. A lot of love for Salford. Just going back as well. Good point made by Mark Smith. That of course, when you look down that roster there of Huddersfield, there's no Wilson, there's no Matty English, who of course has been given a testimonial next year. Matty English,
Yeah.
that's nice for Matty, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, great. He's been a great servant for the Giants. But yeah, Wilson's the big one there, isn't it? And how dominant that pack has been for Leeds. That's another worry, isn't it? That you lose your star, prop, because that's what Wilson's been for Huddersfield this year.
I agree.
And you just can't see him winning that middle battle, and then that makes it really ominous for the Giants, because if Leeds start to steamroll them down the middle, then the backs will have a field day.
Absolutely, two great defensive hookers on show as well tonight. I've not picked them out, but outstanding. O'Connor and Woolford. That should be a very intriguing contest at 9. Of course, we're getting to the back end of the season now. A little bit of a different feel on captain's run. Rather than go for matchups, I thought it was only right and appropriate that we have a look at a fine spine. And what a spine this is this season for the Leeds Rhinos. Miller, Connor, and O'Connor. There's no doubt about it. These three all season have been simply exceptional. I mean, you look down the list of Miller there. He's the leader of Super League in terms of tackle bust, 169, and he's made the most meters in Super League at 3776. Jake Connor's leading the goal kicking charts, and he's got 30 assists. I think he sits second behind Lockie Lamb. So again, exceptional there from Jake Connor. And of course, Jared O'Connor leading the league in terms of tackles. So, when you think games are about defence and attack, there's a lovely balance in this spine for the Leeds Rhinos. And I just thought it was for a change tonight, let's pay tribute to him, because all three of these men have been a real big reason as to why Leeds are competitive and have got an outside shot at OT.
Yeah, they've all been brilliant. And I remember Alex Sharp telling me Jared O'Connor's not a decent hooker. So that's made me laugh. That one. That's well done for that. But I think that the big shock in this is that there's no Croft. You start the season, you'd have said if we're talking about 3 players for Leeds, Croft would be number 1 on the list, wouldn't he? But he's not had a bad season. I think he's getting better.
Stronger.
As the season's going on as well, he's coming into some form, which is great news for Leeds. But Miller's been phenomenal. What a second season it's been for him. He's really settled into the game now, and he's been absolute quality. I think right there with Field as the number 1 fullback in Super League at the moment. And you'd have to say that Connor's the number 1 7 at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said 7. I know he's playing. I know he gets announced at 6, and Brodie Croft gets announced at 7. But I've hinted at this for the last couple of weeks, and I think when the dream team comes out, it's going to be a Connor Lewis. And normally I get a bit filthy, but I think anybody with a pair of eyes, Connor's playing more as a 7 than he is a 6. There's no doubt about that. Forget where they put watch the game, and your eyes tell you he is really playing a 7 role, isn't he?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
100%. 100%. And Cross playing at 6. So yeah, but no, this is one of the main reasons that these 3 players are one of the main reasons that Leeds find where they are on the table at the moment. They've been that good, and also making points and proving points to people. So but obviously you've got to factor in here, from last season when they finished 8th to where they are now. The main thing that's changed is Jake Connor. And that's credit to him, because even myself, I said I was worried about the move. I thought it was risky. Well, they bet on a 10-1, and they've come in trumps, haven't they? Because Connor's been superb.
Yeah, there's almost a fairy tale of New York tune going on there, mate. If you'd have said 17-1, but there you go. Hey, but no, in terms of Crofty, he's made 10 assists. Crofty, so he's 20 behind Jake. And the interesting thing, we're saying that Jake's playing more as a 7. He's actually made more meters than Crofty, who's playing more as a 6. So he's really is playing out of his skin, Jake Connor, playing out of his skin this season. Incredible, absolutely incredible. So I just felt all three of them absolutely deserved a little bit of a highlight. That's why, for me, and don't get me wrong, there's many more players that have been outstanding this year. James McDonald being a case in point. I think he's had a wow of a season in second row. But I think these three, we always say the spines are so important. Would you argue that? Would you go as far as to say, to this point? I mean, I know that players are coming back to, like, the Wigan fan. Oh, what about Bevan French and Jai? Bevan French has been missing a lot over the first 24 rounds. Would you say this has been the best spine? I know that could change as we go into the playoffs and players have come back, but of course Wellsby's been out as well. Would you say this has been the best spine this year up to now? Or would you go KR?
That's what I was just going with. You got Morg, Lewis, and Little.
Yeah, it's close, isn't it? There's not much in it.
There's not, and you could argue, Leeds have beat KR twice, haven't they? Now, so it's for me. I just think the KR spine slightly edges it, but and we're talking slightly. They've been phenomenal. The three players on screen.
Wonderful chat. Enjoyed that. Hey, you never know what I'm going to do you? You never know what I'm going to do, Mr. Sale. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Of course, tomorrow. I don't know why we've got 3 sources when we only need 2. Get rid of that one. Don't need that one. Yeah. Castleford Tigers taking on Wakefield Trinity. Actually, I always forget. Congratulations to Joe Greenwood this evening, if he makes his 100th appearance for the Giants. Congratulations to him, and also Ash Golding as well. He could also make his 100th. If Ryan Hall scores 1 try, he draws level with Paul Newlove in 18th place in the all-time scores in the British game. If he scores 2, he moves ahead of him. So that's very nice indeed for him. Right, let's get back to this game. And yeah, very, very tight. I mean, look at that in the history of Super League, 39-23. Not bad. 3-2 in Wakefield's favour in the last 5, which is interesting. Of course, Castleford come into this game having lost a fair few. Wakefield Trinity in decent form, has to be said, for Wakey Trin. Again, Wakey, 586. No, they've been scoring really, really well this season. Everything points statistically to a Wakefield win, Steph.
It does, yeah. Is it the rhubarb derby? This one, is it famous for rhubarb Pontefract? I'm sure it is. Our Trin fans will point me in the right. I'm sure Pontefract's famous for rhubarb, but no, really. I was going to say it's a really interesting game, but it's not. Is it? Wakefield are going to batter them.
Well, thanks for that. Nothing like drama going through the next 5 minutes of the show, but okay.
Yeah, I just can't see anything other than that at the moment. With the way Casa playing at the moment, and Wakefield have been good. Bit of a win-loss kind of record. So not been perfect by any means, but you look at the way that they play in. I think what we will talk about is Joey coming back in. I think that's the most interesting.
Well, hold that thought. Like I say, Steph doesn't know where I'm going. Hold that thought. I think that's a very, very valid point, which we'll come to in a moment, if you don't mind, Steph. Of course, Castleford will be wanting a better performance than the 32-8 defeat at Magic, won't they? Because that Wakey that day just destroyed him.
Yeah, and this is the thing, isn't it? I'm trying to think of something positive to say about Castleford at the moment in terms of why this is going to be a decent game and stuff, but I just can't see it. Is the young lad playing for Cass? Because he had a HIA, didn't it?
Winley. He doesn't appear to be in the squad. So
I'm really struggling here.
Winley's not in the squad, which again is a surprise because it was a HIA. So not quite sure why that would be. Again, do you know what? Where Castleford are concerned, and I know there's going to be a lot of ins and outs at Castleford, but let's give credit where credit's due. I think arguably this has been one of George Lawler's best seasons. I think George Lawler can come out of this season with a lot of credit. I think he's had a really good knock this year.
And Mellor. I think Mellor's been decent as well for Cass.
Yeah, you're struggling again. We'll move over to Wakefield. In terms of Wakefield, Lachlan Walmsley there in picture. Good to see Lachlan back. Now, here's the thing. Max Jowett is number one there. We'll get into a bit more analysis with regards to Jowett in a moment. But Jowett has scored a try in the last 3 games against Castleford. So Jowett's a bit of a lucky charm. A bit of a lucky charm is Max Jowett. Will that get him a selection? Of course, had a week off. And Tom Johnstone, he's in the 21-man squad as well. If he gets a brace, it takes him to 100 in 2 meetings. In 2 stints, at the Trin. Steve Rudge, right on time, evening all, just as we discussed his beloved Waker.
His ears are burning.
Yeah, it's 6 cents, isn't it? 6 cents. We're talking Waking. Steve comes into chat. Happy days. But yeah, no, look, I mean, an unbelievable season. Like I mentioned a moment ago, Vagana out for the season. That's a shame, but they've got plenty of cover. That's the reason Jack Croft was brought back into the squad. Darryl Powell thinking they were a little bit light, so they brought Jack Croft back. Whether or not he comes into the team, possibly not. I mean, I think Seth Nicotimo and Josh Griffin will be starting second rowers. Jay Pitts, of course, at hooker. The big question, I think, where Wake are concerned, is the headache that Darryl Powell has got. Yeah. And it's over to Darryl, really. Jowett, Truman, Rourke, there can only be 2. There's one player that he's nailed on for a halfback spot from now until the end of the season, providing he stays fit, and that's Lino, and that's deserved. He's going nowhere. We know he's going nowhere. So he's got a real dilemma here. And actually, when you look across it, it really is very, very close. I mean, Josh Rourke, for me, Rourke his position's fullback. Jowett can do a job in a couple. Josh Rourke is an out fullback. I don't think you're going to get the best out of Josh Rourke in any other position. The fact that he's extended his contract, at some point you do feel as if, it's almost the Saints bit, Sailor and Wells bit. If you're going to keep Josh Rourke on a long-term contract, he's got to make a decision about Jowett and Rourke, because otherwise you've got bags of riches, haven't you? Which is going to cause you a problem. Now, I think that Josh, and we've said this many a time, Josh Rourke has got a talent that none of the other 2 have, and that is the high when a ball goes up in the air. We know that. Jowett this season has been exemplary. I think he could. I think Fiatilli will get a few votes as well, but I think Jowett will very much be in the mix at the Wakefield Player of the Year awards. I think he's been exceptional on his return to Super League, having had a real difficult 23, as has Mason Lino, another one who will probably be in the talk in the room that night. But 20 appearances, 12 tries and 11 assists, so that's 23 immediate impacts in terms of scoring a try. That's good. That's good going. There's no issues there. 29 bust, of course, leading the bust charts, and also 9 breaks. When you look at Jowett against Truman and Rourke, there's no doubt about it. If you're talking about genuine strike threats, that's Max Jowett out of the 3 of them.
Yeah. But there's a thing in that says don't change your winning side. And, the Truman played well last week. Lino played well and Rourke played well. So I don't think it sends the right message. If the rumours are to be true, Jowett was dropped on form rather than injury. So from a coaching perspective, I think it would send completely the wrong message when both Jake and Josh earned their places for me last week to take one of those out of the team. What I would potentially do, because of the opposition, is I'd maybe have Max on the bench, and with it a bit of a warning to the other 2 to say you need to keep it up because he's sat on the bench now, and if any of you aren't performing tonight, you're going to get hooked. So that's I think that would be a good way of doing it, because I think they can get away playing Cass with just 3 forwards and a back on the bench.
Mike Todd's having a wave in the chat. Hello there, Mike. Hope you're well, my friend. And Josh, Jake, and Mason Lino for Stephen Rudge. Who am I to argue with a very proud Trin fan? If at the end of the day, look, at the end of it's a great problem for Darryl Powell to have. A great problem for him to have. So it'll be very interesting come kick-off time tomorrow. Which of those 3 play? Which 2 of those 3? But like you say, all 3 might be in the 17. It's going to be fascinating. That there's no doubt about it. But yeah. The balance of power appears to be very much with the Trin in that part of the world. I think it could be a long night yet again. Forecast, of course, no Tom Amoni's season's done. That's another problem for them as well. He's not been his best, Tom, admittedly. But yeah, all eyes pretty much point to a Wakey win. Right, let's get into it. let's get into it. And we're not going to apologise. We're going to stick on this for a while because there's no doubt there is one genuine blockbuster of a game this weekend, and it's this one. St Helens taking on the Wigan Warriors. It couldn't be tighter. Before we actually go through the stats, let's take a look at the league table. Let's just look at the ramifications of what could happen post Friday night's game. And here it is. So Wigan Warriors, if they win, they take themselves well away from St Helens. It's pretty much done and dusted where Saints are concerned in terms of second. If Saints do win, they of course would go 2 points behind Wigan, with Wigan still to play Leeds and Saints still to play Leigh. So from a second perspective, they will still have hope it could happen, but they have to beat Wigan. They don't beat Wigan, second have gone. It's then about third or fourth for home tie in the playoffs for Saints. That is how important this game is. And of course, Wigan would, of course, want to keep the shield out of KR's hands for as long as possible. So there's a lot riding on it. They're the ramifications of it, just to remind you. I mean, look, history. What a history between these two. Saints 48, Wigan 43. The last three games have actually gone the way of the Wigan Warriors. They're on a 3-game winning streak. I'll just remind you what that has been. In round 17, 2024, Wigan Warriors won 16-12. Tight affair. Then, of course, at Ellen Road, Magic Weekend. That was where Saints had a few injuries. And remember Jack Farriman's try that day, Steph, a belter. A 20-0 win over an undercut Saints, it has to be said. And then, of course, in round 8 this year, it was a 24-14 win to the Warriors. So they're on a 3-game winning streak. That's where they are. At home, though, not bad. In terms of the last 3 games that Saints have played Wigan at the Totally Wicked, the 2-1 up. The 2-1 up. Right. That's good news for Saints. The last time they met in 2023, round 15, they won 34 points to 16. And in round 6 of 2024, they beat Wigan 12-4. So the Totally Wicked, it's 2-1 in the favour of Saints. But Wigan are on a 3-game winning streak. This could be win number 4. The form guide, both, of course, winning 4 out of the last 5, both in good form. Of course, Saints fell to, I want to say, Leeds. Or was it you? Who did Saints lose to? I'm trying to remember. I know Wigan lost to KR. Who was Saints? It's KR. KR.
Yes.
Of course it was. Yeah, both of them. Yeah, sorry. They both lost to KR. Both lost to KR. So again, very, very similar form going into it. Points for, I mean, again, we've got to take into account that 80-odd point. I mean, it looks closer than it actually is, really, in terms of if you take the Salford ones out, Wigan are a bit more comfortable than Saints are. But defensively, Saints very good. Very, very good. And that's the part, and I think you said it last week when we were going through stats and stuff, that they perhaps have not had the credit that they deserve this year, Steph, for the defensive efforts, man.
Yeah, they've been great defensively. And I think everyone was using the excuse of, they play in Salford and they play in the bottom teams, but we're at the end of the season now. Then I think you mentioned Leeds had the 3rd best defense. Well, I think they've got the 4th actually, because looking at that, I think Saints is better. Oh no, they will be. I think Saints could be the 2nd best defense. I think only KR's defense is better than that.
Well, KR's 240. So I think they probably are second in that respect. Rhinos are 272. So they are second.
Considering how much we've waxed lyrical about KR's defence this year, the Saints to only be 4 points behind them is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. Playing really, really good rugby league, and you've got it. Like I say, it has gone a bit under the radar, because of that early season form where they were getting picked off. And let's be fair, who they've been being picked off by. How did Warrington beat Saints 3 times this year? Can anybody tell me that? God only knows. Deary me. Not that Saints are bothered now. They're more bothered about the league table. But yeah, I mean, incredible stats. Incredible stats from Saints. They're really in it. And again, when you go down to errors and penalties, very, very close. I always point to, especially at this part of the season, conversions, your efficiency at conversions, and Wigan 8.8% better than Saints, and at this time of the season, that can be very, very important. And especially a game of this magnitude, that ultimately could be the difference on the day. The kicking stuff.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's always a factor, isn't it? And with this one, I just don't know whether it's going to be to make the score bigger or it's going to be really close. It could go either way for me. This one, I've gone that it's going to be a bit of a blowout by Wigan in this game, just because of the factor of no Delaney, no Knowles, and obviously Bevan French coming back in for Wigan. But if it is a close game, which is more than capable of being, depending on which Wigan side turn up, then goal kicking could be a big factor in it.
It could be. It could be. No doubt about it. Look, guys, if you're watching the Captain's Run tonight, there's probably a lot of your mates who aren't. So, once the show's over, if you can stay on YouTube, go onto the share, copy the link and post it on your socials. Everybody should be watching a bit of Captain's Run on a Thursday in the lead up to the Sky games. We do the analysis properly, as you're already seeing. We've got loads to come on this game. You won't be disappointed. If we go to, in terms of Saints, look, Felt's back. That's a massive bonus for them to have Felt back tonight. Sailor's probably going to be on the other wing, or is he? That for me is a big question tonight. Of course, Dion Cross is back as well, and I said this on Weekly, and we skirted over it because, of course, we were going to do Captain's Run. So you've had time to think about what I said, and I remember seeing your face when I said this, and it was one of And I don't know if you were thinking, might be a shout, or nah, Dave, you don't know what you're drinking there, mate. That ain't happening. So let's ask you the question. I've got a sneaky suspicion, only a little one. He might put Wellesby at loose. It could happen. A ball playing loose keeps him in the middle of the park, keeps his hands on the ball. It puts Sailor back at full back and put Dion Cross and Felt on the wing and leave Lomax and Mbai in the middle.
No, I think he'll play Mbai at 13.
I think it'll be Mbai and they put
he put Wellesby at 6 and Lomax at 7 and Mbai at 13 and Sailor at fullback.
The problem is, and I was speaking to a couple of the press guys at the pre-match press conference at Warrington, who we got talking about Morgan Knowles, and they were saying, I asked about Oliver Partington, if those rumours are true and what's going on, and it was dismissed quite out of hand that Oliver Partington is no Morgan Knowles, and my response to that was, who is on this form? Morgan Knowles' form this year is exemplary, and it's why the NRL have come a calling, because he has been sensational on both sides of the ball and in distinguished company. When you consider Minchella's not put much of a foot wrong, Callum Watkins has deputised beautifully for Cameron Smith this season. Asiata, when he's played, has looked like John Asiata, but pound for pound, Morgan Knowles has just been outstanding this year.
Yeah.
And that's a big loss going into this game.
Yeah, he's probably my Dream Team 13, if I'm being brutally honest. I think Knowles has earned it this year. He's been phenomenal for Saints in some really testing times as well. And we go back to the Wellens out brigade earlier on in the season. Knowles was one of those players. I think he's just been consistent all year. He's been a leader for St Helens. He's been their go forward along with Walmsley as well. Let's not forget that people were asking for Walmsley to be retiring earlier in the season, and he's now top meter maker in the forwards, isn't he? In Super League.
He has been all season, mate. That has been some of the most biggest pile of horse manure all season. Whoever's been calling out Alex Walmsley, forget Wobble. They need to go to Blackpool because they're looking into those mirrors that are funny. They're just all over the shop, mate.
You spoke of the games where Warrington had beaten 3 times. I think a lot of that came from the Warrington game at the HJ when he made a couple of errors, didn't he? And I think he was blamed quite heavily for that defeat. But that's where I think that stigma came from. But he's one who's definitely proved the doubters wrong this year as well.
Can we call Wigan the new Leeds Rhinos? They're all back. They're all back at the business end of the season. This was Leeds' old gimmick, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, loads of injuries, scrape into the player. Wigan have not scraped into the players, of course, but they always come back at the back end of the season. Look at all 1 to 13, outstanding. Out goes Paddy Mago. He's out for this one. HIA, I believe, but back comes Luke Thompson into the 21. We'll come back to that in a moment. But it looks very good, this, for Wigan, doesn't it?
It does. It's probably close to their strongest team they put out this season. Yeah. And this is where I'm worrying for Saints, as well as Saints have been playing recently, and they have come into a bit of form. Losing Delaney and Knowles And then coming against a full strength Wigan side pretty much with Bevan French two games under his belt after his injury and looking like the world beater he is. That's what concerned. A bit like before, I was saying about I was worried about Leeds' forwards getting on top of Huddersfield. That's where I'm worrying a bit for St Helens in this. And if Wigan do get on top, start to tire out that middle of Saints, and then you've got Bevan French coming at you. Oh dear.
Yeah, well, oh dear. I think actually, when I was a lad, good Catholic boy that I am, that was 10 half hours and 3 Hail Marys, mate. Is what that was for me. But the thing is, again, you look at the list of Wigan, and then you've got a player like Harvey Hill, who I thought had a belting game last week. You know what I mean? So it's just like we know what Farriman can do. Douglas has had a game this season, got himself a try. It's coming at the right time if you're a Wigan Warriors fan. Right, let's get into some tasty little bit. Like I say, I'm not apologising. This is the genuine big contest of the weekend. So come on, if you're neutral, just enjoy what we've done for you here. Yeah, I know it's not your team, but there's something about this fixture. You've just got to love it, haven't you? Get on with it. And this is the first contest. A timely, I put there a timely return. That was not for this one. That should read Ashes on the line. That should read. So my apologies for that. I forgot to change it. Ashes on the line. And it is. Sean Wayne is watching. Both of these two would be expected to be in and around it. We know Jez Litton should be favourite for 9. We'll just put that out there straight away, the way Jez has played. But these two are vying for a spot in the squad. There's no doubt about that. Both of them are in the party. Both of them are great players. So tonight, for me, this is almost an opportunity for tomorrow night, for one of them to get a bit of one-upmanship on the other. And when you look at it, both have had great seasons. Daz Clark, his running game, we know he's got more of a running game than Brad O'Neill. Brad O'Neill, people always say about O'Neill and his tackling, but look at Daz Clark's stats. It's frightening. So, the one strength, and this is why I was surprised to see Brad O'Neill in that party. And I still maintain, no disrespect to Brad, if he's not wearing cherry and white, he's not in it.
Yeah, I was going to say, because with you saying then both have had great seasons, do you think Brad O'Neill's had a great season?
Yes, I do. In terms of, I think he's had a great season. He's not done anything wrong. You don't think of Brad O'Neill.
That's not a great season, though, is it?
Well, it is, because he's done what he's been asked to do. His game is tackling, and he's done 480, and he's made his 95% efficiency. That's what he's done. You compare it. You would say, without looking at stats, that Darryl Clark is more of a try-scoring threat than O'Neill. But in fairness to him, he's made 2 assists and he scored 2. So he's not a million miles off, and he's played less games. So for me, I've got nothing against Brad O'Neill. I think, by Brad O'Neill's standards, he's been steady away. So I would say, yeah, he's had a good season. But if we're going to put him alongside the company of other 9s in comparison to better players, and I think that's the unfair nature of it. If we're saying, has he had a better season than Jez Litton, Daz Clark and others? Well, no, of course he's not. But has he had a good season as the starting hooker for Wigan? Yeah, he's not doing anything.
I don't think he's got to the standards he was before his injury. And I think probably Cruz Lehman's the better 9 at Wigan at the moment.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, well, Cruz Lehman's a different. Yeah, Cruz Lehman is that impact though off the bench, isn't he?
Yeah,
it's the perfect foil, isn't it? I say we say this all the time about 9s, two different type of 9s. Yeah. But I think when you actually look at this here now, and you consider the strength that you would give Brad O'Neill is the same strength that you would give Jared O'Connor, which is his defensive work is exceptional.
Yeah. What
this comparison shows is that Brad O'Neill could not get into an Ashes team over Daz Clark. Because Daz Clark has had a better season defensively, and he's more of an attacking threat. So you have to. So for me, it almost puts this one to bed. I don't see how Brad O'Neill gets into the Ashes squad, and I would expect Daz Clark to come out on the better end of this one on the night.
Yeah, but I think Cruz Lehman gets in above both of them. I think he'd go with Litton and Lehman.
Maybe, yeah.
But that's where I would go.
Yeah, maybe. But like I say, for whatever reason, Cruz not in and around the party, is he? I mean, Cruz Lehman scored 4 tries this year. He's and again, like Daz, he's a bit more. In fairness, Daz has done more minutes though. He's only done 711 meters. Daz has done more minutes, so Anyway, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one.
Definitely good debate.
It's a good debate. Let's go on to another one because this one is a timely return. I expect Luke Thompson to play. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think Thompson returns tomorrow night, and it's a timely one because they need him. There's no doubt about it. He is their premier front rower. That's what he is. He's number one of the prop forwards at the Wigan Warriors, and deservedly so. And of course, going back to his former employers as well, he'll be getting a great reception at the Totally Wicked when he steps out. Look, let's go straight back to Alex Walmsley. For me, Walmsley's dream team. I'm just going to say it now. Alex Walmsley this season has been the best prop forward in Super League. Stats don't lie. A prop forward's job is to run hard, to tackle bust, and to tackle. And he's done all three. He's done all three. He's made the most meters as a prop forward in Super League. He's made 109 tackle bust, which is right up there in terms of front rowers. I think only Herman is posting better numbers than that. So for me, again, Alex Walmsley, exceptional and deserves far more credit than he's got. He's been overlooked, maybe because of father time or whatever, but as we keep saying, Steph, played every game.
Yeah. No, we've already said it, haven't we? I've already had my little piece on Alex earlier on. Yeah. But I think the Thompson one's interesting coming back into the Wigan team. Who do you think drops out for Wigan? Would you drop Dupree?
Well, I think Harvey Hill is the obvious one. And again, I don't think that'd be deserved based on Harvey's performance last week.
That's why I said Dupree.
No, can't be. No, Mago. He'll take Mago's place because he's out on
Of course.
Be a direct replacement for Mago, won't it? I think that'll be perhaps the only real change in the starting 17 is Thompson comes in for Mago.
Makes
so
sense.
that puts that to bed. But again, you look at Thompson in certain areas. He's not a tackle. He don't make as many tackle busts as Alex, but defensively. Look at those stats on 13 games. When you consider Alex Walmsley played 24 games and tackled 455. Thompson has played 13, 336. Yeah. His defensive work and his carries. Because again, if you look at his carries there, if you double almost, he's over he's probably in and around the 2,000 meter mark, which again is good going at this part of the season for a prop forward. If you're in and around the 2,000 meter mark, 24 rounds in, you're packing a punch down the middle. So I think it's his time, not just for this game. He needs minutes under his belt. He needs to get himself ready. But when we get to playoffs, he's coming up against the league's best front rowers. And Wigan need Luke Thompson firing in the playoff series.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. He's like their enforcer a little bit, isn't he? But I think for me, Thompson's the all-round prop. He does everything. He does a massive tackle work rate, lots of carries, and the meters are pretty where you want them to be for a prop. I think Worms is just different because he's busts and they're knocking players off and the amount of meters he makes. But Luke Thompson's one of the best prop forwards in the country, isn't he? And any team's going to benefit from getting him back in. This is what we're saying about Wigan getting all the sweets back just before the cinema, isn't it? So that's what's going to make Wigan exceptionally dangerous to come in the playoffs.
Well, what I would say about Luke Thompson in closing is there's no doubt about it, one of the most astute signings of the 2024 season, and he was a massive reason why Wigan did so well. And we do like a tune here at Super League Raw. Not quite sure why Adam Walsh is talking Lady Gaga in the chat. He obviously likes her tune, Judas. It's a good tune. It's a good tune, Judas. It's a great song. Always on my playlist. Well done, Adam. It's great to see that you're a connoisseur of fine tunage, sir. Right, okay, let's move on to another little interesting battle. What a battle this one is. Kyle Felt, Liam Marshall. Living on the edge, bit of Aerosmith there. Both of these two. Since Felt has come back from his injury, steady away. Poses a real aerial threat. Liam's gonna have his work cut out. I think they are gonna pepper him with some bombs. Liam's gonna have to look at that. Good to see. But again, look at the strike rate. You wouldn't have thought that to start the season. Liam Farrell has played 8 games more than Kyle Felt and scored 5 tries less. Unbelievable. But Liam is starting to fire. That said, he's made 9 assists, which again surprised me when I put this together, because you think all those that Felt goes up for, he's scoring them, but he's not executing to make a try for somebody else, which is really interesting. Bus wise, 8 great numbers from Liam, 80. Both very, very similar in terms of breaks, albeit again, we've got to take into account Kyle has only played 14 to the 22. But this is a fascinating battle. Different skills. I think Liam's got a bit more pace, just about. Kyle has got a far better aerial presence. This is going to be a fascinating tussle between two seasoned professionals.
Yeah, and I think Liam's really suffered from the injuries at Wigan, from the Bevan French injury, because it's no coincidence Bevan comes back and Marshall starts scoring again. So they're just that creative, and I think his assists have come because he has been making breaks from quite deep, and then obviously giving the ball inside when he's actually gone down the line. So, but yeah, I think you're absolutely right to call it the aerial threat of Felt. That's definitely what I would be doing if I was Wellesby or Lomax in the halves. I'd be, fourth, fifth tackle looking to put the kicks high at, it'll have to be accurate, but right on his corner, felt like jump him and score. So that is Marshall's Achilles heel is his height. So that'd be, say it's a bit crazy not to try and exploit that, but executing them kicks is another thing, especially for Wellesby, who isn't a six by trade. So if it's to that side, so yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how the coaches do that, and whether Leeds, whether Wigan try and do something about it by, is it
Switch in
Kieran on that?
Wardle.
Wardle, yeah. So whether they switch it for a kicking player, whether Wardle goes up for them, that would make sense to try and combat that. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I'm intrigued to see how this battle goes, because it is apples and oranges rather than apples and apples, isn't it?
It is, and Adam in the chat talking. I think he's paying tribute to Liam's ability to get a penalty, certainly in his own 20 metres. It's a skill. He likes. He does get them. And people can have the views on that.
Some needles coming out.
There's anybody think it's Wigan Saints. I have to say, I'm going to have a bit of sport with Mark, because Mark say it's. In fact, I'll put it up on the screen for people to see. Mark has said, going back to the Brad O'Neill comment, please rewatch last year's World Club Championship and you'll understand why Brad O'Neill will start at 9. I think he means for England. Mate, with the greatest of respect to you, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hang on a minute, mate. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scored in the Champions League final in Barcelona. You put him in the United team now, he's not scoring many goals. We can't go all the way back to the World Club Championship at the start of last year, mate. I mean, come on. We're going on form, and form dictates that Brad O'Neill is well behind at least 4 other 9s in the comp.
Yeah, I was going to say Jonathan Davis scored a cracker against the Aussies in '94.
Not playing, is it? Not playing.
Jonathan Davis not getting in.
No, I don't
be
think
commentating on it. Might be commentating on it.
Yeah. No, I agree, Steph. No, we can't go that far back. We've got to go on the here and now. You really, really do. But that said, Jake Connor should be playing in the here and now. But that's another story, isn't it? That's about trust, I think, more than anything, which is, you make your bed, you've got to lie in it, I suppose. Right, the next one. This is a belter and all. Oh, yes. The Wardle test for Harry Robertson. I mean, let's be, there's no doubt about it. Whether he's in this year's dream team or not, again, I think he's got tough opposition. I think that's going to be really well contested. Petter Hiku comes to mind. Tessie New, just 2 that can be thrown out as real contenders for the centre spots this year. Harry Robertson done nothing wrong as a young player, but there's no doubt about it. If we're talking about arguably the most consistent centre over the last 3 or 4 years, it's Jake Wardle. So what a game for Harry Robertson this is, to go toe to toe with one of the game's best. But again, let's pay tribute to this young man. When you actually look and compare and contrast Harry Robertson's season to Wardle, he's matching him, isn't he? What a season Harry Robertson has had.
Yeah. And I think that comes down to Robertson being really good again, and another year under his belt. And we all agree, I think, that this lad's going to be an England player in the future, Robertson. But Wardle, I made no bones about it. I think he's been below average by his own standards this season, but got a lot better in these last few weeks, and is starting to show why he's the best English centre in the Super League. So this is a real good contest for me, because they are both in form at the moment. They are both playing well, and this one will be a right battle. And again, a bit apples and oranges, 2 different types of player. I think If you look at Robertson's bust there, he's more evasive than Wardle. He seems to be able to drop players a lot better. Got nearly double the amount of busts in 4 less games. Whereas Wardle's more about power and a step. So it will be interesting to see how they go against each other. And it's like the master versus the apprentice, this one, isn't it?
It's an absolute belter. It's an absolute belter. Adam Walsh firing back at Mark says Lewis Dobb won the World Club Championship for Saints. I say no more. Good lad. That's a very good response. I don't mind saying. Right, yeah. Look, what a battle! Like I say, picked out some key. Look, we could be here all night talking about key battles, but I picked out ones that I'm really looking forward to, and I think all of them are going to be really, really cool. We then come, of course, to the game breakers. Jack's back. Jack's back for Saints, of course. Can he silence his doubts? It's unbelievable that Jack Wellsby at this moment in time is getting question marks over it. You just wouldn't Adam and Eve it. You just wouldn't. But he is. Where's he going to start? That's the question. I've seen other podcasts today saying that Saylor's got to be sold because he's just not. He can't play fullback. He's not a winger. He's not a scrum half. And so a standoff, and I agree with that. It's a big problem. I think everybody's questioning the Saylor purchase. That said, he's played well at fullback, so it's a major problem. It's a major problem. But there's no arguing the fact that Jack Wellsby is a class player. And, when you think there's 16 appearances and he's been involved in 23 scores, either making or scoring them. And that's, as we always say, that's not counting when he's the second to last passer and he's created the space. And we all know that there'll be a few of them as well. So there's no doubt about it. And the thing about Jack, and I'll just pass this over to you, Steph, the difference about Jack and Tristan, Jack has done it against the Super League's best. Yes. Tristan has had a bit of a bath against lower opposition.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest problem that Saints have got is that Jack is 100% a fullback and Tristan Saylor is 100% a fullback. And you can't have two fullbacks on top dollar at your club. That just doesn't work in terms of the cap or anything like that, because then you fall into the realms of playing players in other positions just to get them in because you're paying them top dollar. So I think my personal opinion on that would be I think they'd be right to offload one of them. And it's it won't be Jack, no. But could be a really good pickup sailor for one of the teams that are coming into the competition. But also some of the more established Super League sides as well would maybe have a look at Sailor if he became available. But we've had a year's look at this now in terms of and probably a bit more in terms of Jack playing at 6. We've seen it in seasons gone by as well. He plays okay there. He does a job. He's got the skill to play there, but he's just not good enough to be permanently there for me. And it takes too much away from his game when you talk about what is the England number one. So he's number one for a reason at England because that's his best position. So it's going to be a difficult one, a head scratcher. But I think Saints will need to address that in the off season one way or another.
Adam very calm over Jack. He knows the score. But yeah, I mean, Jack Wellsby, for me, I just don't get. It's like the Walmsley one. Sometimes you just shake your head and you think, do you actually watch this game of rugby league? How anybody can question Jack Wellsby and what he has done for that team and continues to do. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Right. If he's their game breaker, there's no doubt who the Wigan one is. And it is, of course, Bevan French. And again, we could have talked Field, we could have taught multitude of players, but Bevan French, Wigan in Bevan heaven, no doubt about that whatsoever. Great interview with him, of course, that we did on Weekly. Really enjoyed that, and I did point it out to Bevan, a 45% win percentage over the Saints. Wow. Surprising that. There's only 2 teams that Bevan has got a minus win percentage. Do you know which the other one is? Would you like to take a guess?
Warrington.
Nope. Leeds Rhinos.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. So you wouldn't have thought that. But I mean, look, the guy's a Rolls Royce of a player. I mean, again, 16 appearing. Look at the stats. It's ridiculous. 18 assists, 10 tries, 59. I mean, what a player. What a player. And it's not lost on you, Mr. Sale. I've used your word, superstar. Absolute superstar. What a game, ladies and gentlemen. What a game. Look, bottom line is, I don't care who you are. That game tomorrow night is box office. It's got so much It's got passion. It's got a lot of atmosphere. It's got wonderful rugby league footballers on the field. And you know what? It matters because the closer we get to the playoffs, it's about momentum. It's about form. It's about getting one over on those that you're playing. Whoever wins this, if they were to meet again in the playoffs, whoever wins this game, psychologically, it's there. The last time we played them, we lost. And if Saints was to beat Wigan with the players they've got out, that's a hell of a statement. We all expect Wigan to win this because of the players that they've got out. But I'll tell you now, St. Helens would be Kevin Keegan, wouldn't they? They'd love it. They'd love it if they beat them.
They definitely would. And what confidence that would give Saints as well as they go into the playoffs. And what it does do as well is throw the placings of the top 5 right in the mix if that happens. So I think if I'm looking at it completely as a neutral and what's good for the game and stuff, you'd want the Saints win, really.
It's going to be a great game. Look, you can't miss it. And then at 10:15, once the final hooter has gone and the interviews are done, there's only one phone in Rugby League. It's the Super League Raw phone-in live on YouTube. That's it. Tell your mum, tell your dad, tell your gran, tell your kids, you Wigan and Saints fans, tell them all. Super League Raw YouTube channel, 10:15 tomorrow night. The phone-in. Have your view on the game straight after the game. We want to hear from you. Yes, all the details on how you do it in the description will be a link. You'll come on the screen. You can tell us what you think of the game. Who knows what stories are going to be told tomorrow night. But one thing's for certain, we're hoping that is going to be a lively, lively debate. The Super League Raw phone-in tomorrow night, 10:15. Guys, we want your company for that one. Again, share this to your friends. Make sure they know that they can air their views, good or bad. No language, of course, on the Super League Raw phone-in. We're getting a bit giddy over this. Well, hopefully this is going to be a good one. Or not, Steph?
Got the phone in?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was waiting for you to press something then.
No.
Sorry, mate. No, yeah, it's the full-time phone-in has been brilliant. I really enjoyed it. I think what we need now is more people getting involved, so tell your mates and stuff, because there's nothing else like it being currently done. I know it's not a brand new concept, but I think
It is in Rugby League.
in Rugby League, yeah, we used to have the GMR phone in, didn't we, and stuff like that. But not to have an on-screen one, I think that's great, and it's going to be really interesting to hear that. It's the raw emotion. It's a bit like the Red V TV. Everyone looks forward to watching there. I think more so because it's so raw and it's just happened.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about this is that we're going to get people's instant reactions. And even if you're not a Wigan or Saints fan, one thing that normally happens in a Wigan Saints derby is there's some controversial decisions in there.
Absolutely.
And, some should be a red card or a video ref decision or whatnot. So yeah. And what's the other game on Friday? There's 2 games, isn't there?
It's Wakey, isn't it? Wakey.
Oh yeah, Wakey. Yeah. So obviously that can be. If you want to talk about them as well, I'm sure that'll be.
And tonight's games as well. But something tells me that this one might just be the dominant one, but for obvious reasons. But hey, tell your friends, guys. Tell your friends. It's going to be a cracking phone-in. We want to hear from you straight after the game. So make sure you get onto our YouTube page. How you can get in the queue to come on screen. We'll be there and we'll bring you on and you can tell us what you think of the game. Outstanding. Right, let's move over to Saturday then. Warrington Wolves taking on the Leigh Leopards. Big game, this one, for the Leopards. Again, let's just quickly dabble into the league table. Let's just go back to it and the ramifications of this. A big game this for Leigh because we know that one of Wigan and Saints are going to lose. We know that. So it's either going to give him an outside chance of getting catching the Wigan Warriors. It'd take a lot for that to happen. Of course, there's another 2 games to go, but it keeps that alive. We'd expect Leeds. We're expecting Leeds to win. We've already been there, so it keeps them in touching distance with Leeds. With Leeds still having to play Wigan, and of course, it would mean that they go very nicely for 3 points clear of the Saints with just 2 games remaining. Of course, they go head to head, so that pretty much would put they'd have a 3-point cushion before playing Saints. So even if they lost to Saints, they'd still be in that top 4 spot, which is a home game. So like I say, this for me takes a bit of nerves out of Leigh, the Saints game next week, if they get the job done against Warrington. Would you agree with that, Steph?
Yeah, definitely. I think if Leigh beat Warrington, that pretty much cements 4th place in a home playoff, regardless of whether they lose to St Helens the week after, subject to Wigan winning against St Helens on Friday, which we'll know by this game as well.
Yeah.
So I know that's been a big target for Leigh this year to get they've never ever had a home playoff in Super League history. So it's just another one of the things that they're ticking off this season, and have been since 2023. So it'd be a great result if they can do that, and the Leigh will be expected to win this game based on Warrington's form at the moment, but also the players that they're not playing in terms of George Williams and Paul Vaughan, and I know Matt Duffy's been named in the team, but I think we may see Kai Taylor-Ray at fullback instead. But we'll see.
We'll come on to that. Yeah, we'll go through what I think possibly might happen at Warrington tomorrow. But I mean, look, Leigh come into this, the better side in 2025 without question. And again, statistically speaking, and with what has gone on in the recent last couple of weeks, you would expect a Leigh win. It is a season that has thrown up a few surprises this year, but I don't think many people are expecting too much of a surprise here at Warrington. But you never know. I mean, obviously, what Warrington, as Steph pointed out to me, Leigh have not beaten Warrington at Warrington. So that's an interesting
1983.
Yeah,
I think it was.
It's a long time ago. So 87 at Wilderspool.
87 was it?
Yeah. 87 at Wilderspool. 17-10 in the Stones bit of championship, my friend. Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah. Was you?
Yep.
There you go. The last 14 home fixtures Warrington have beat Leigh. So history, and only history, for me, is on Warrington's side. Everything else absolutely points. They've had some belting games this year. The two belting games. Let's hope that it's the same. And I'm sure the neutrals would hope it's the same. One thing's for certain, I think people will be tuning in because they'll want to see what Warrington's about after the statement and all what's gone on this week. Lockie Lamb could make his 100th start. Will make his 100th appearance for Leigh, as will Edwin Ipape. Nice milestones for the lads going into this one. Yeah, nice one. Right, let's take a look at the Warrington. So we've obviously spoken prior to the show. So there's a lot of people suggesting that they know what the team is going to be at the weekend. Tom McKinney and James Duffy will be playing reserve grade. I'll tell you that now. They are not in the 17. They will play reserve grade rugby league this year. I think from a Sam perspective, and I will also throw into that Ewan Irwin. Those three have played reserves all year. They're in a great position in the reserve league. And I think because the first team now, it is what it is, they've got a genuine chance of winning the reserve league. And these lads deserve the opportunity to finish that season off. And I think that's the view of the club. So I'd be very, very surprised if Duffy, James Duffy, Ewan Irwin, or Tom McKinney were in the 17. So that's three gone. So then everybody's suggesting Kai Taylor-Ray will be the fourth one. I disagree. I think it'll be Matt Duffy. I think Matt Duffy might be the one that goes. And again, I could be wrong, but I've got a sneaky suspicion that Kai Taylor-Ray starts this game. I could be wrong. So all eyes on the Bluebell live this coming Saturday when those team sheets are given out, because I would not be surprised if Matt Duffy does not make the 17. Of course, Paul Vaughan, he's out. And I think for me, I would be surprised if we see Paul Vaughan in a primrose and blue shirt from now until the end of the season. Yeah, that's my view on that. Again, could be wrong, but I'd be surprised. I think even Sam, I think in his pre-match suggested that that's going to be touch and go. So if I'm a betting man, I think Vaughan is gone for the season for Warrington, and he's off to York. So that's what I think is going to happen. So if I'm right, Steph, if the Warrington team is Kai Taylor at fullback, the two Fulises on the wing, Toby King and Stephen Ratchford, and I think he'll go Ratchford in the centre because he's up against New. They're going to need a bit of experience on that right-hand side potentially where Tessie's concerned. So I think I do see Ratch in centre for this game. We know that Leon Hayes is playing alongside Mark Sneed, who returns. That's happening. And then it's the rest. It's your Matsons, it's your Philbin, it's your Wood, it's your Yates. They're your rotational front rowers. You've got Sam Powell and Danny Walker as interchange hookers. And then, as you can see there, Fitzgibbon and Stone return. And maybe Adam Holroyd at loose potentially, or Matteson might start at loose potentially. But that's the team. They're the four that I believe will miss out. I could be wrong. It could be Matt Duffy and no Kai Taylor-Ray. But if I'm right, would you be upset as a Leigh fan if you couldn't get a win over Warrington and press on?
I mean, when you take out the players like Williams and Vaughan and that kind of calibre of player, then that obviously is going to weaken the side, isn't it? If Duffy doesn't play as well, that's another threat gone. But Kai Taylor-Ray is an exceptional talent who's my only concern with Kai is where's he up to in terms of match fitness in at Super League level. I know he's had a couple of runs in the reserves, and I'd worry for Stefan Radford going up against Tessie now. I think they may move Curry into the centres.
No, Curry's gone, mate. Curry's gone for the season. Gone.
Oh, Curry's gone. Oh,
Curry's
right.
gone.
Okay.
He's not there, mate.
Right.
No Curry.
Yeah.
So we've got to plug the loose forward gap. That could be Matteson at loose.
Yeah, and I think the biggest one for me is for you go forward is Harrison, isn't it? That James Harrison having you. So yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Leigh, on paper should be winning this, and but what the 250-50s, what you mentioned in Ethan O'Neill and Joffa have both not made the squad, but so they're now 0-100s. But Owen Trout is named in the side, so if he comes back in, then that's a big boost for Leigh. It must be that they've deemed not worth the risk for Joffa and Ethan in this game. So I expect the team to be pretty similar for Leigh, and it's going to be interesting if Trout does come in. Who comes out? For me, I'd drop Jack Hughes. I think Aaron Penne and Tutamake on their performance last week deserved their place. So I would bring, because I think they may, when we get Joffa back, then I think they may want to put O'Neill in at prop. So I'd see how he goes at second row this week and replace Jack Hughes.
Just for a moment before we carry on this debate over Warrington, Simo in the chat, if an upset of the season happens on Friday night and Cass win, he'll be in the phone-in. I'll even let you have the first call, mate. Anyway, we'll see you for the final whistle. How long's Williams out for? I think from a Super League perspective, I think he's done. Yeah. I think he's all on for the Ashes now. I think the next time we'll see George Williams potentially is in an England shirt. It's not.
Well, does it affect the England thing? Does it give Mikey Lewis a sniff now?
Well, we're talking about Sean Wayne here, mate. I think he's the England captain. As sure as eggs are eggs, mate. I think Williams plays, and we've debated that until the cows come home, haven't we? I don't think it's right.
It would be a big. I know I wouldn't think it, but it'd be a big call that, considering match fitness. To lose, you need to be going into an Ashes series with games behind you and ready to go.
Okay. Yeah, completely agree. Now, before we move on to the last game, which of course KR and FC, again, we always take you right up on a Thursday night, as we always do. So we hope you're enjoying it. I say it again. If your mates don't know about us, where are they? Where are they? Nobody's doing this. You know what I mean? This is better analysis than you're going to get on Sky, let alone anywhere else. This is proper stuff that you're seeing here. Right, the outsider, slam in the lamb. I've done this on purpose. Sorry, that should say Jake Connor, not Jared O'Connor. My apologies for that. Should it? Oh, yeah. God. I forgot to... No, is that right? No, I'm not. That's wrong. My apologies. I was rushing. I'll walk you through. I'll walk you through the Jake Connor ones because that is wrong. So I do apologise for that. But the other two are right. Mikey Lewis and Lockie Lamb are spot on. I think it's because it said Jared O'Connor. I was just seeing Connor and thought, oh yeah, I've done that. Clearly I didn't. Anyway, not to worry. But look, he's not being spoke about. He's not being spoke about. He's Lockie Lamb, and he's not dream team. He's not going to get in the dream team. I'm not saying he is going to get in the dream team, but I really feel for him. I really do, because he's done really well. He's done really, really well. You look across that list there. He's the top try assister. He's leading the division for 40-20s, which is he's to his credit. He's done a few of those this year. Yes, Mikey Lewis, strike rate, all the rest of it, absolutely batters him, and I get that. In terms of Jake, he has. Oh, sorry, actually, I think these might be right. I've just put them in the wrong order. Maybe he has scored 7 tries. He has made 30 assists. He has. It's 109 attacking kicks. So 109.
Dummy runs is wrong, isn't it? That's not.
Yeah, no, I'll walk you through that. I think the numbers are right, but they're just in the wrong places. So I do apologise for that. He's kicked 30 goals. Sorry, my apologies. He's made 30 assists.
Yeah.
He's kicked 71 goals, the league leader. So dummy runs is goals. Tackles is attacking kicks. So he's made 109 attacking kicks. He's made 319 carries for 1,329 meters. So that's what it should read. So it should read goal kicks, tackles, carries, and meters. So when you look at HULLKR against the other two, it's only right and appropriate that he is spoken about almost in the same breath. I don't think he's been as good as the other two. I think the other two have edged him. But I think, for me, it's right and appropriate that we do pat him on his back for what, by his standards and the standards of the league in that position, he's had a great season.
Yeah, he has. He's had another great season. Last season he was great as well, and the season before that he was great. He's consistent, and that's why. I mean, even though O'Connor's had a great season this season, if someone offered me a swap for Lachlan Lamb, there's no way I'd be trading, because Lachlan's consistent, and Lachlan's actually made some steady improvements to what he needed to as well. Like mostly, as I've said, his kicking game. So, and I think he's younger than him as well. So,
would you extend that if you offered Mikey Lewis for Lachlan?
I would take Mikey Lewis
all day.
So, but what I would do is I'd probably have Mikey and Lockie in the same team.
Oh, look, you can't do that. He's one or the other. Because you just said that because you just either or with Jay. We've got to either or with Mikey. Come on.
Yeah, at the moment I'd take Mikey Lewis. But I think that's but to be fair to Jake, he's coming towards the end of his career. You know, Lockie's got another 7, 8, 9 years left in him yet. So it's but they all deserve to be on the same page, and I do think Lachlan hasn't got anywhere near the amount of credit. He's just gone under the radar. Which I'm not particularly that bothered about, to be honest with you. And I hope the opposition teams do the same.
Yeah, but you might not be. But I think what we do here, and this is why we do what we do. We champion every player, and it doesn't sit with me that Lachlan Lamb this year has not got the due praise he's deserved, because Mikey and Jake have been so good and are vying for that man of steel, and they're the front runners. Nobody can argue with that. I feel for Lachlan Lamb because what he's done deserves praise. So that's the reason why I thought we'd take this opportunity tonight to just pat him on his back and say, marvellous effort and congratulations. Right.
He'll probably get it, Dave. Sorry, just before we move off that, he probably will get it if he gets another 9 assists, because then he'll break Luke Gale's record for the number of assists in a Super League season. So he's got 3 games. So he's got 3 games to get 3 in each. So
and you won't bet against that. Such as his form. Saturday from 12:30 p.m. You Leifers out there, you Warrington Wolves fans out there, get to the Bluebell on Horse Market Street in Warrington. We're going to be there from 12:30 p.m. We're expecting it to be standing room only. That's what we're expecting. We think it's going to be a really good bumper crowd. Great food, award-winning food as well. So, 3 o'clock kickoff. Get yourselves in there. Have a bit of something to eat. Great beer. We're going to have, of course, Super League Raw in the pub live. We're going to be playing games with you as we always do. A couple of free beers will be on the line, and also a little bit of free entertainment as well, in terms of there will be some sort of entertainment single will be on as well there. So it's the place to be. You really do need, if you're a Leifer, if you're a Warrington fan, the Bluebell is the place to be. We're there from 12:30. We'll be going live on YouTube probably around 1 o'clock-ish. So do get yourself down there. We might not have the teams, or the teams might come in just at the back end of our broadcast, but make sure you come to the Bluebell. We've had a couple of people going, I'll be in the Lower Angel. Well, you won't be seeing Super League Raw then, will you? You've got to come to the Bluebell. That's where we are. Come and enjoy the fare that we're going to have on offer for you. We look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be absolutely marvellous. Tony Pennington looking forward to being at the Bluebell. Right, the last game. Is it game over? Is this the moment that you Robins fans have all been waiting for? We would absolutely expect it to be. Look, the bottom line is the tale of the tape tells I come back again. The best team. I don't know what I did there. The best team, of course, all season. Nobody can argue with that. Is HULLKR 5-0. 5-0. Last 5-0. 5-0. I'll say it again, just because it makes the Robins people happy. 5-0. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But you've got to feel, Steph, for FC. Because disaster has struck at the back end of this campaign. Look at what is on you. And that we could have put Chamberlain in there as well.
Yeah.
There's other players.
There's some salary cap. Yeah, there's some salary cap. I sat on the in the stands there, isn't there? And also talent, and but it's key players as well for them. So no more so than Asiata. You take him out of that team, and it made a massive difference. But also SASA is huge, isn't it? In terms of their go forward. Will Price for their attacking flair, and then you've got Cartwright and Knight, who have they've been.
Today makes a dark day for rugby league fans, and the fact that Herman we won't see probably until Easter next year.
Yeah,
and that as a rugby league fan, that's really heartbreaking. Because
how he comes back from it as well, because it's an Achilles, so he'll need surgery, and that is a tough injury,
especially his size as well.
For any athlete to come over an Achilles is massive. It's on a par with your ACL, and it can be worse. So from a recovery point of view, especially for a big bloke like Herman, but let's hope that isn't the case, and we see him back sooner rather than later.
We wish Urban well. He's been an incredible addition to our game. He should have been in the dream team last year. He's probably going to be, even though he's not going to play the last few games, he's probably in the contender spot this year. We wish him nothing but the best of luck. But you're right, a lot of salary cap there, and it's come at the wrong time for him. This not only the fixtures are against him, but now with this amount of talent missing, Wakefield, it's yours to lose. Wakey can't lose it from this point. For me, they just can't. Let's get into a couple of players. Again, let's just give a bit of respect. Jeslin. I mean, we were chatting a moment ago against Darryl Powell, and we were talking about Brad O'Neill, and Mark was saying Brad O'Neill starts. Nah, mate, no. If Jez Litton isn't in the starting 17 for England against the Ashes, then for me, serious questions need to be asked, because this lad has been quite simply exceptional. Exceptional. Now, people will be saying he's not the leading try scorer. He is as a hooker. Yeah. He's made more assists than any other hooker. He's made more dummy runs than any other hooker. And if you want to get into the detail, in every other stat, he's either second or third.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Has to play, mate. He's been outstanding.
Best 9 in the comp by a mile.
Well, and let's go go right the way back to the start of the season. I think myself and Greg, of course, right from the get-go, we remember starting this where Matty Parcell, we purred over Matty Parcell. What a great pro. What a great 9 Matty Parcell was. And when he left, it was like, right, can Jez step up? They're big, they are big boots to fill. Matt Parcell was a quality 9. And Jez has said, hold me beer, Matt. Love you to bits, Matt. Love your tutelage over the years. Love everything you've done for me in my career. But hold me beer. I'm going to take the number 9 jersey to places it's not been. And he's done it. Yeah. He's done it. Yeah. He's had an outstanding season. Outstanding.
Yeah. He's been in tremendous. It's been in Ashes form, as you put on the screen. Yeah. But got better and better since Parcell's gone as well. And I think that the thing that I pick at is he's doing it tough in the middle. He's not a big guy. But his defence, some of the hits he's putting in are phenomenal hits, against the big men as well. And for someone his size, pound for pound, one of the best tacklers in Super League. And then you add into it his attacking runs and runs from dummy at half, the tries he scores, the support play, everything, that's not Micah Lewis that's good for KR is coming through Jez Litton.
Class player. Love Jez's work this year. Love it. Great player. If he was in your team, he's one of those players as a kid you put number 9 Litton on your back. He's playing that well. He's playing that well. You can imagine those young Robin fans watching him. Privilege. Yeah. He will be taught, if he carries on in that type of form and keeps going the way he's going, he will go down in history as one of the best, if not the best, number 9 that HULLKR have ever had. he's playing that well. Because, like I say, we expect KR to win this. Again, another player I want to pay tribute to is Zach Hardacre. It's that part of the season now. What a season Zach has had at Hull FC. Played a variety of positions. And whilst, those stats might not be as good as other stats that you'll see, when you take into account his versatility, his leadership, and those numbers, 16 dummy runs, you don't see much of that. When you actually look at those numbers and just take a step back and go, they're good numbers. Zach Hardacre has been class.
Yeah, he's been great, and we saw it at Leigh. When he was with us, in terms of his work ethic, his leadership. I was a bit disappointed that he left, to be honest with you, from Leigh. But what you can see at Hull FC is those traits of being a leader, being a winner, his work ethic. He's an example. And it's not often we've described it through Zach's career in being a role model, but that's what he's becoming in terms of the rugby player side of things, on how to, even when you're not winning every game, the desire to win it and the commitment to win it. I don't think that's wavered one iota with Zach. In fact, he's probably got better as he's got older, and he's been probably there. I was going to say that, but I think he's been their player of the season.
He'll be up there. He'll be up there. Good player. Done really well. Many congratulations to Zach. Outstanding season. Right, we're nearly done. It's now time for this.
Are you sick and tired of winning your bets every week? Want to contribute to the bookies' Christmas party? The bets to ignore when predicting the score. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Bet Stef.
Well, it's that time of week again. If you want to lose some money, then jump on board Bet Stef with me this week. Not the Salford game wasn't included again, so just the fivefold. I'm expecting Leeds to have a big victory tonight against Huddersfield. I've gone for them -20. Huddersfield may say that they can be better than that, but we'll see. I just fancy Leeds to put a bit of a score on Huddersfield this evening. Wigan -2.5. I think that's printing money at the moment, but it is a derby. Wakefield -16.5. Again, the form Castleford are in, and the way Wakefield are playing at the moment, I think there can be 3 converted tries more than Castleford. Leigh -10.5. This one's a bit, for me, Warrington and Leigh tend to be close, but with the way things are at the moment, I am expecting Leigh to be able to overcome that 10.5 handicap. And with the graphic we've just shown with the FC players out at the moment and the way KR are playing, I have gone KR -22.5. So that fivefold gives you 26-1. And in terms of the anytime try scorers, I've gone for Jake Connor, Sam Lasoni, and Liam Marshall. And because of the Sam Lasoni forward going in, this one again is 26-1. So I think that's pretty decent value for a threefold anytime try scorer.
Well, we will wait and see with bated breath, Mr. Sale. That has been an outstanding captain's run. We hope you've enjoyed it. We hope that you'll go and tell your friends about it. We want, of course, this program to grow. Personally speaking, you're not going to get anything like that a couple of hours out from the kickoff of the next round of Super League anywhere. Great analysis, great debate. We've gone through a lot there. Let's not forget, you Wigan Warriors fans, you St. Helens fans, the full-time phone-in is tomorrow night, 10:15. Make sure you're there. Tell your friends about it. We want to hear from you right after the final whistle. What did you make of the game? All the talking points. And as Steph said, fans from around the league, you're welcome as well. Talk about your games that take place tonight and tomorrow. And one final time, you Leifers out there, the Bluebell. That's the place to be this Saturday from 12:30 p.m. We want your company. Come and spend the afternoon with Super League Raw before we go to the game. On behalf of Steph and on behalf of myself, go and enjoy your Thursday night Rugby League. We will be back for the phone-in tomorrow night at 10:15. Bye for now.